All right. So first, I'm always love talking film with you, Jalen, because I mean, first you're a filmmaker and you've been covering it from a fan, a consumer, and a producer and creator of film. So I always feel like you have a good, thorough outlook on film. So when I thought about this 93rd Oscars, which is kind of different than the rest of the years we've been covering, I said, so let me give you a call. Let's see what we can chat about, what we thinking about these films. So welcome to the 93rd Black Tree Misfit podcast
Yeah.
pre-Oscar show.
No, yeah, I'm
So
excited to talk about it. You're also like my favorite person. When I always text you and ask you, have you seen this? What was your thoughts on it? Because even if we disagree, your thoughts are usually you make valid points for your like or dislike for a movie. So
this is a weird year though, because usually I'm seeing all these movies in the theater. Instead, this year I've got so many screeners, and it's one thing to be disciplined when you're in the movie theater,
yeah.
turn your phone off, do this. When you're at home, I mean, you get like a phone call in the middle of a scene or something like that, or your kids running around. It was like it's a
So
whole
many
different way to
distractions,
like
yeah.
so many distractions. So I felt kind of kind of out of pocket as a critic this year because of some of those elements. But
Even as a
go
fan, I feel like it's just a different experience because you again, it's a lot of these films should have been seen on the big screen. So it is sort of like a compromise that we unfortunately had to come to. But yeah.
yeah. But I mean, let's talk about first. We got. I mean, it's the major categories. We got Best Picture, and I don't think we got too much love in Best Picture. I mean, it's no. We have Judas and the Black Messiah,
Mhm.
which I'm pulling for. I'm hoping that could do
That's that's my top pick.
something. And
Yeah.
but overall, yeah. But I've seen all the rest of the films. Sound of Metal, I thought was an excellent film, even though I mean, I think it deserved to be in there because I think what they did as far as putting you into the character and dealing with his hearing deficiencies and
Mhm.
his handicaps on that, I thought was amazing. I thought Riz did great. He got no
Riz did a
love in the
phenomenal job. Yeah, I really
yeah
that was my first time paying attention to him as an actor like that, and I was very impressed.
yeah. So I thought that was a great movie. I don't think it will win because it didn't get any love
Yeah, I
in
don't
all
think
the
so.
previous shows. Mank, which was early, I thought was actually a great movie. I forget what it's made to be about. It's
The Citizen
uh
Kane,
Citizen
the other
Kane.
writer for Citizen
Yeah,
Kane. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. And I mean, I thought this was a year of some black and white movies. I mean, we had the 40-year-old version.
Yeah.
Um, we had Malcolm and Marie, and we had Mank that were like pretty. They were all on Netflix, but I
Mhm.
liked all of them in that black and white element. I thought that they were great movies. Mank actually had some
Yeah.
great acting. I think it was just kind of
Gary
early
Oldman's
into the
one of
Oscar.
the greatest actors to me. So yeah.
Yeah, and before we go, I'm gonna throw to. I didn't get to talk to him about Mink. I talked to Amanda Seyfried and Lily Collins, but we talked to him before on I think the Dark Knight or one of those pictures. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw to one of those interviews when we finish. But Mink I thought was great. I would be disappointed if it won Best Picture because I
Yeah.
thought it
Same.
was kind of a great picture, but it wouldn't be like, oh, that was the year that Mank was Best Picture. It was like,
Yeah. It's
it's
good. I'm
like
glad
that.
it's nominated because Fincher is actually my favorite. Fincher's my favorite long term director. Who, as far as because Ryan Coogler is my favorite director at the moment. But Fincher's body of work, I feel like he hasn't really made a bad film yet. So I love
Yeah.
Fincher, but yeah, I don't think Mank should win either.
And oddly enough, you got Aaron Sorkin and Fincher in
Yeah,
here, and I know that they when we did the Facebook
social network
movie,
together. Yeah,
Social
yeah.
Network, yeah,
Mhm.
yes. And now they're going against each other. But speaking of Aaron Sorkin and Trial of Chicago 7, I was highly disappointed. Like
Oh, really?
I was disappointed
Okay.
in I think it's gotten way too much love among these critic and academy, and I think it was more of a Aaron Sorkin thing than it was like the movie was all of that. Like
Okay.
I did like some of the performances in the movie. I was really disappointed that when you have Trial of Chicago 7 and you have Judas and the Black Messiah, and they both deal with Fred Hampton's assassination in some form, but Aaron didn't even talk to Bobby Seale's family. Like it was just like he
Yeah, I
just
heard
went
about
straight.
that. Yeah.
And to me, it just seemed like it was kind of a privileged way of doing this movie and telling this
Mhm.
story. And then Sacha Baron Cohen getting all the love instead of Yahweh, and I think that was, I
That
think,
I
you
agree
know,
with. Yeah, I don't think Sasha's performance is good. I just don't think. I think yeah. Yeah. How do you pronounce?
Yahweh,
Yeah.
Yah,
Forgive us, but
yeah,
like I
yeah.
think his
Forgive us.
performance.
We love
Yeah,
him
we
as an
love you.
actor.
Yeah, yeah. I think his performance was the standout of the entire film, really, and I think the whole cast was strong. I actually enjoyed the film. I love the writing more, so that's my pick for best original. But I think Sorkin shouldn't have directed it. I don't think he was strong enough of a director to handle it. But again, I did enjoy it though.
Yeah, and then I know it's been a lot of talk about Nomad Land and Amazon unions. I'm not into all the union talk and what all that means for,
Yeah,
those things. But I mean, as far as watching it, Frances McDermott was great actress, but she was believable and unbelievable in it to me. Like I was kind of like, I don't know. I liked the movie, with the slow pace. I don't know why it was winning so much at the beginning. I think it's lost some steam going into
yeah.
the Oscars, but
I think it's a
oh, I
little
don't know.
overrated myself. Like I enjoyed it too, but when I finally got around to see it, and I saw it recently, I was expecting more because it was winning all the awards at first, and then after watching it, I was like, this isn't in my pick to win. I'm glad it's nominated. I do think it's a good film, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it should win.
And then of course we have Minari, and I guess it's the second year in a row that we have a Korean led cast film, Korean directed film in the running. And I mean, Minari, I felt the story. I liked the whenever I interview because we always talk about diversity
Yeah,
and inclusion else, and even talked about that with the cast of Mortal Kombat recently. But I was like, but it's still like one of those high kung fu type of movies,
yeah, it's
even though it
different.
has a lot of lore.
Yeah,
But to see like Minari coming off the back of Parasite and see like that they're telling these, and it was that other one with I can't remember her name, but she's like the comedian.
Ellie
I'm
Wong.
not sure. No, she had the one where her grandmother was dying like the year before.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
that was
remember.
the Farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah, yeah,
Those type of movies I thought are like new movies in our lexicon of like Asian prototype movies, and it's telling different stories than just somebody being a ninja and doing this. And
hmm
I thought when
yeah,
you look at Minari, I think it was another peel back of our prejudices that we've been programmed to watch about this is all that Asians do.
yeah.
And I think that movie was, I love the acting in it. I love the little boy who was
Little
a
boy did
little
great. Yeah,
a-hole.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was a little jerk. Yeah, yeah.
I love those characters. And
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, it deserves to be in there. But I would still be like, it still wouldn't feel like a best picture this year.
Yeah.
Even as Parasite felt like one. Think Parasite was more dynamic, yeah, you know,
Even this film even has some controversy to it because I know people are calling like a foreign film when it's technically not. It's set in America. It's about an American family. It's just all in a different language. So
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I mean, congratulations to the filmmaker. I mean, I think they won the BAFTA, but congratulations to them. I mean,
okay,
great picture. Um, uh, Again, I'm gonna end with the one that I'm gonna end with Judas, but before we
yeah,
still got Promising Young Woman, which was interesting. Did you get to see that one?
I did. Yeah, interesting is the word I would describe too. I enjoyed it. I want to point that out. And I think Harry Mulligan did do a good job. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't. It's one of my least favorites. I'll say.
It doesn't feel like Best Picture, even though it was an interesting movie. I feel a lot of these movies of this year was like kind of Debbie Downer type of movie.
Definitely.
Even though it was dealing with a dark subject, it was a little bit of it was a little bit of following her path was like a little bit more exciting. So I mean, it was cool. But again, this year's selections, I don't know if it's like an asterisk year for these movies. I mean, I know these everybody that makes a movie, it's just a wonder that they could get it to the screen. So I mean,
Yeah.
congratulations whenever you got it. But it just the selection of movies this year did kind of feel just down. I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Nothing
I
too
don't know.
uplifting. All the movies kind of feel very the subject matter is very heavy in a lot of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And but again, Carey Mulligan did a great job. I like the twist at the end. I kind of felt that's where it was gonna go. And but overall, I mean, people should see Promising Young Women. They would be
Yeah, no,
entertained for
definitely
a minute.
check it out. Yeah.
The Father, you can't really go wrong when you got Anthony Hopkins as a lead actor. He's such a great thespian an actor. The movie was definitely confusing because
Yeah.
you're in dementia with like, well, is that the person or is this the person? Is that the husband? And you're dealing with all this
Okay.
with him, kind of like the
Yeah.
same as Sound of Metal, where you're
They
dealing with
put you in
the
there.
hearing loss. Yeah, you're dealing, and the scene comes, and you like, well, the whole continuity of a movie that a director tries to do for the audience to make sure that if he was wet in this scene, the next scene he shouldn't be totally dry. When you're going through dementia, this Anthony is like having his own scenes that are like non-sequential
Yeah.
and different characters. It's crazy. You almost feel like you're going crazy watching the movie, which is kind of it makes it kind of it's one of those movies that you don't even want to watch again, even though I enjoyed it the
Mm.
first time. It's like, oh, that was
Okay.
cool, but yeah, I made it through it. So, but again, Anthony Hopkins, I think he was nominated last year for the Two Popes, and here he
Yeah,
is
he
again. I
was.
mean, every
Yeah.
time you put him in there, he's going to be a front runner. He's kind of
Yeah.
like
He performs and
the
everything. Meryl Streep. Yeah,
he's
he's
the
like
yeah
the Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
yeah. And finally, like the one that's making me proud in the inside,
Yeah,
in a way, and
same.
it's Judas and the Black Messiah, just to see that variety cover having Ryan Coogler and Shaka King and Charles King all on the
All black
cover.
producing team. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do for that. That's kind of a misnomer. They do have two other, like they have uh, uh, the Armenian producer also in that mix
Okay,
part of
gotcha.
it, that
Yeah.
and another producer, but just to have those people, like if they win Best Picture, they're coming up on stage to get to make that
Yeah.
speech, and
Which would be an
well,
amazing
they'll
sight to
be at
see.
Union Station.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah,
so
so
weird.
that's I'm
To
looking
think
forward
about.
to that. It was, but it's weird when you see how they categorize this film. In some academies they have Lakeith as the lead, which I think he properly was the lead actor. And this
Yeah.
they had both Lakeith and Daniel as supporting actors, and really the person that didn't get enough love, wasn't even like really being highly considered. Dominique Fishback, I think, did an amazing job.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, she's not getting talked about like enough or at all almost. And I think she really was like the other. If the two of them are like the lead, she's a trio. She's the other part of the film that really like you. The love she
Yeah,
had for Fred for Daniel's character was really just yeah, she carried that.
yeah. Like for me, like she's on my lookout watch now. Like now, I'm like, yo, what is she gonna get next? Give her, because I know she did The Hate You Give and a couple other projects
Yeah,
where I was
yeah.
seeing little parts of her. But after seeing this, I'm like, yo, I want to see her in more. I want to see her carry
Absolutely.
more
Yeah, yeah.
characters, and I think her time is coming. But let's. I mean, you want to start with best act? You want to go to best actor or?
Yeah, who did I have for best actor? So for me, it's kind of well, it's not really competition. I have Chadwick down. Watching him in Ma Rainey was really his performance really stole the movie. I feel like Viola Davis is great in it. She's also my pick, but Chadwick really carried that film. It's a performance. I've never seen him do anything like that before. So he's my pick. I did love Steven in Minari. I think Steven did
Yeah,
some incredible work along with Riz. But yeah, if you compare all three of those performances, I think Chadwick he wins.
And it's kind of like a lifetime achievement thing for him also.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember when I seen him doing James Brown and Thurgood Marshall and Jackie Rob. I was like, gosh, like why is he getting all of these biopics and like what's he doing? And then I started to think about it, especially after his death. I was like, he was getting because nobody else in the casting could become all those people. And see, I think
Yeah.
for an actor, like it's kind of like you could do imitations, you could become somebody, and then to be able to be somebody new is like you are in 21 Bridges, or you like you are in Black Panther and Marvel anthology, become
Yeah.
like a fictional character and be real characters. I think shows like nobody would could kill those auditions like Chadwick. I think he was like he had the training of an actor. He went to London and he trained. You know, all, and I think you see that when we have all these arguments about Black Brits and African American casting, and we talk about the lack of theater and arts funding in our
Yeah.
schools here now, and how theater is still such a big thing in the UK. I think Chadwick is the embodiment of somebody that was from an age where he got theater in school and he was able to go do extra training after Howard. He was
Mm.
definitely aware, and then he was dealing with something in life that he held within that made him even stronger as a person and a character. And I think you see all that stuff
Absolutely.
in all his performances. So, while it is, definitely he deserves it. I mean, I think it's a culmination of all the work that he's done that he will, get the best actor. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud that he was, a friend, if I could say that to me, like more than just an interview. Like me and him, I think really had a connection, and he would not always be able to do everybody. He always made sure he did Black Tree, and I mean, I'm so
Which
thankful
a
to
lot
have
of a lot of
had all those
actors don't
moments.
do. So
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
black
So
actors. So
yeah, exactly. Um, Again, Gary Oldman was great in Mank, and like you said, Steven Riz was absolutely wonderful in Sound of Metal. I think it's just not getting heard, no pun intended, by
yeah.
everybody.
No, definitely.
But and Anthony, all great nominations, but
Mm.
Chadwick Boseman, I agree with you on that one. Let's go to Best Actress. We got Andra Day, Vanessa Kirby, Andra Day for Billie Holiday, Vanessa
Yeah.
Kirby, Pieces of Woman, Carrie Mulligan, Promising Young Woman, Viola, Ma Rainey Eats Black Bottom, and Frances McDermott for Nomadland. So first up, what's your pick?
I have Viola. I know I feel like picking Viola these days is kind of like it's a no-brainer because every time she performs, she really delivers. And it's almost like you want to pick somebody else because they're like, dang, Viola really keeps stealing it every year. But Billie Holiday, or Andrew Day rather, for see, she did so well. I was calling her the actual character name. She did a great job. Like she
Yeah,
surprised me. I did not at all expect that kind of performance from her. Not saying I doubted her ability as an actress. I just she
but we didn't
really
know it. We
yeah,
didn't know her
that's it.
ability.
I
Yeah.
knew her from her music. So and I really didn't realize how strong her performance was. Like she really did an incredible job, even to the point where if she wins over Viola, I'll be okay with it. But for me, it still is Viola Davis because Ma Rainey, it was a character I've never seen her do before, and she really delivered.
And I feel you, and I could answer this in two ways. I feel like I feel like Viola's performance was maybe her strongest performance. And she's
Mm.
done a lot of great performances. I really did like her in this. And Andra Day, I mean, she was amazing. She has no inertia coming from other films where the critics will remember her or the Academy gonna remember her. So I don't feel like she'll get it. I feel like Frances McDermott is gonna win this category, even
Yeah,
though
she
I feel
might.
like Viola probably did the strongest job. And let me not skip over Vanessa Kirby because I don't know if did you see Pieces of a Woman?
No, I haven't actually. Yeah, that's the one I haven't seen.
One of the most powerful, the first 24 minutes reminds you of Quentin Tarantino-esque. It's like the camera
Okay.
doesn't cut at all. And it's her and Shia LaBeouf going through
Mm.
a childbirth with a doula in the
Oh,
house,
right. Yeah,
and the
yeah.
camera doesn't cut. And it's like you feel, even as a man, I felt like I was
You give him.
delivering a child's the rest of the film kind of off after that to me. But I mean, it's still a strong film, but that it's the first 24, 30 minutes of the film that really captures you and shows like Vanessa Kirby. She does an amazing job. Like I really was impressed with that. But I
think
mean,
they kind of
again, Viola Davis,
buried it
who
because
I
of
hope to win.
the Shia thing. Because I remember people were talking
Yeah.
about the film, and then then it kind of nobody was mentioning it. So
yeah, but again, Viola is my pick on performance. Frances is my pick as what the Academy is going to choose. So like if I'm playing the odds, or if you're playing the odds at home,
yeah,
go ahead and put your money on Frances, even though Viola was
she's the one to bet on, definitely.
Yeah. There's other categories we could go to supporting, but let's go to animated features. I don't know which of these animations you've seen. We got Wolf Walkers, Onward, Soul, Shaun the Sheep, and Over the Moon. I haven't seen Shaun the Sheep, but I've seen all the rest of the projects in that category. And I'll tell you personally, that's going to be hard to say because I mean, Soul is tugging at me. But for me, like Wolf Walkers was such a great animation and like a more flat animated thing. Like it's just different. And for Apple TV to have their first big nomination, I was just kind of I'm torn between Wolf Walkers and Soul, to be honest. And
okay.
So I don't know. What are you feeling?
I have seen all these films. I haven't for me this is a little easier. I did like Wolf Walkers and the other. Like I loved Onward too. I thought Onward was really great. But for me, Soul, it's rare for a movie like Soul to make me think about things that I haven't thought about like in my adult life. You watch animated movies and they have great messages, like, hey, family's important and stuff like that. But for Soul to like really go deep and deliver a message that was so profound, that I saw this with my grandma too, and even she was like, wow, like she was not expecting it to go where it went. So I really I think Soul was great. And even aside from that, just like the voice work, the animation was beautiful. We really don't get to see Black animation like that, and I thought that was just an accomplishment in its own as well. So for me, it's definitely so.
When I look at it, I think some of the like I love Jamie. I definitely love Felicia Rashad and Angela Bassett and all these
Crazy
people.
cast,
Tina Fey's in there.
Yeah.
And ironically, the writer who's also nominated for One Night in Miami. I can't remember his name. Yeah, Kemp. He actually worked on this, but I don't know. I have a little bit of angst towards Pixar for their all of their diversity inclusion. I still, even when talking to these filmmakers besides Kemp, it was like a whole bunch of Pete Docter and another. I just feel like by this time Pixar should be a little bit more representative, especially when it's these films. And Frank Abney, another great animator that used to work at Pixar, he left shortly, through this because of some of these issues. And I just would like to see Pixar do better. But with what you said, I could go with Soul. I'm not. I like Wolf Walkers personally as a story. I feel like Pixar carries way more. You got Pixar and DreamWorks with Onward. I mean, I think Pixar is going to take it with Soul if I had to pick from the rule. But I'm proud of Apple TV for doing Wolf Walkers and not just going with I'm gonna do a 3D animation. I'm gonna do something flat. I like the story. It was cool. So yeah, I'm gonna go with you with Soul and hopefully like the audience will like some of these interviews that we got from Soul earlier in the year. Let's go to Best Supporting Actress. So we got Amanda Seyfried from Mank, Olivia Colman, The Father, which you just hear that. Now that I just said that, I was like, oh, Olivia Colman was great. Yoon Ya-jung from Minari and Maria Bakalova from Barat, which I don't know how that made it in, and Glenn Close from Hillbilly Elegy. In this category, I don't know. I mean, I really want to say that Olivia Colman does the best job as and you've yet to see this picture, but just like as she's dealing with Anthony Hopkins' character and the father, you see like a lot of dynamics uh, of her as she has people having to deal with people with dementia and elderly people, and like she's almost having to play different characters with him within the movie. So I think that's pretty pretty like important. But Amanda Seyfried again was great in Mank.
She was, yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of torn by those two. Like both of those are great performances. The rest of them, I mean, Yoon Ya Jung and Minari, she was great. That's the grandmother, but I just feel like she didn't have enough dialogue. Even though she had some good funny lines, I wasn't Steve Yoon. I'm more bought into like her. I just feel like she's in there because it was a great movie, but I just don't feel like her character will outdo these people. I didn't really watch the Borat movie. I tried to a couple of times, so I can't really speak on Maria Bakalova and Glenn
cool.
Close.
I don't really know how she got nominated.
Glenn Close, a great actress, but Hillbilly Elegy, I couldn't sit through it. Like it was one of those movies that with the distractions and everything, I ended up just not really getting the whole movie because I think it was like I was burning something on the stove or such and such or whatever.
A lot going on.
It fell into the virtual well. So if I'm a pick, I would say Olivia Colman. And your pick is who?
My pick is actually between Amanda and Yoon. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Although what you're mentioning, she didn't have a lot of I thought her standout moment was at the end of the film because she comes in strong, right? She's kind of like this tough, funny grandma, and I thought the dynamic she had with the grandson was great. And then once she suffers the spoiler alert, by the way, once she suffers the stroke, and then by the end, just the scene of her walking after the fire, I just felt that, and I was like, I think she did a tremendous job. So, but again, Amanda did as well.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Like I wouldn't be like, she got, I just felt like when I had to look at them and look at the performances, I felt Olivia had a lot more lines, and I felt like I was really impressed with Amanda when I first seen Mank. And Mank, even though I liked it and everything else, it wasn't something I kept re-reviewing. So Amanda might be just a victim of being first out in the considerations, and then
possibly.
But okay, but you're gonna go at Yoon, and I'm going for Livy on that. Let's see who wins on that day. I don't know. Did you do the documentaries? I didn't do enough of the documentaries.
So I didn't do enough to even have a conversation about it.
Let's go to Best Supporting Actor. Okay, this one, the person that I picked out. Well, first let me get a name. You got Paul Raci in Sound of Metal, Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7, Lakeith Stanfield and Judas and the Black Messiah, who was nominated as a lead for the Golden Globes, but now he's a supporting in the Oscars. That's a whole other story. Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, and Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah.
This is a tough category.
This is a tough category. Yeah. I mean, I could eliminate Paul.
Yeah. It's really only between three people for me.
And Sasha. Yeah. I feel like Lakeith should have been in the lead category. So it makes me feel like it's a cheat to go for him. And there, I think Daniel's performance as a supporting, even I think is more fit into the supporting. But Leslie Odom Jr. was my early pick. Like I've seen One Night in Miami, even though they had 4 excellent actors with Aldous Hodge and Ben
Kingsley. Ben King. I think that's Ben. Yeah, sorry. Malcolm. Play Malcolm X did a great job. Yeah.
And the young guy that played Ali, I think they was all like great, but I felt like Leslie Odom Jr. I was like, yo, this is his Oscar nomination. I've seen One Night in Miami like super early. I went on Twitter, and I'm gonna show y'all the screenshot of this thing. Like I went on Twitter early, like September or August, and I was like, this guy right here is gonna get the nomination for Best Supporting. So I want to say that my favorite out of these would be Leslie Odom, but he hasn't won anything in the circuit.
Yeah.
He's just been nominated multiple times. So because I know how the voters vote, I would say that my pick. This is like the Viola thing. My pick of who should get it is Leslie Odom Jr., but who's gonna get it is Daniel Kaluuya. Sacha Baron Cohen, again, I think he was okay in the Trial of Chicago 7. I just was way more moved by Yahweh Abdul Mateen than I was by his performance. So the fact that he got the love kind of makes me feel like, and then I feel like Lakeith could have been a runner in the best actor category, even though I don't think he would have won it. But I don't think because of that he gets to go in the best supporting and outdo Daniel. So much love to Lakeith, Leslie, and Daniel, and the rest of the nominees. But I'm gonna say if you're putting your money on it, go with Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
If you got to go back and look at those performances, you might say that Leslie Odom as Sam Cooke did even a more powerful job than Daniel. But I don't know. It's hard to say. You got Fred Hampton making those speeches saying, "I am a revolution." You get emotional with that, and
amazing,
you kind of got to feel that. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm happy if Daniel wins it for sure. I'm just glad Leslie got nominated, and he's probably gonna win, which we could go to. He's probably gonna win Best Original Song for Speak Now, which he also
that's my
had
pick as well.
for One Night in Miami. So let's just hope if he gets that, then he gets an Oscar win and two Oscar nominations.
Still leaves a winner.
Yeah. And then let's go to screenplays though, because I know this gotta be personal for you. First, can you explain to the audience that don't know what's the difference between a best original and a best adapted screenplay?
Yeah, so adapted would be like, so for example, with One Night in Miami that Kent Powers did, right? It was a play, so it had a theatrical, it was on Broadway. So he has to adapt it to feature. So the difference between kind of like writing something for the stage and writing something for a movie is very different, because on the stage, it takes place like all in one location, right? Which is why the movie also feels, it's mostly for the most part in a hotel, but they kind of venture out and go other places. Whereas on stage, it's pretty much just in one location. So when you adapt a screenplay, you're taking whether it be a comic book or a regular book, and you have to make it for a feature film, which are two different mediums. An original is just you sat down and you thought of a brand new idea that's not from a book, that's not from a play or anything, and you just wrote it. So makes it original.
As a writer, have you had a chance to work on an adapted project so far?
I haven't yet. There's a book I want to adapt. Some is speaking into existence, but no, I haven't yet. I would love to though.
Okay. Well, let's start with best adapted. We mentioned Kent Powers, who also wrote Soul, your animated pick, and he's the writer for One Night in Miami, which was Regina King, my crush, directorial debut. And we have Florian Zeller, who wrote The Father. We have Ramin Bahrani, who wrote The White Tiger. And speaking of which, I have all these scripts here, so I know you're gonna want to see them. I have all the script books.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For all these. You got Chloe Zhao, who's won a lot of awards for Nomadland so far. Mm-hmm. Kind of weird because Nomadland is not a lot of dialogue, so I wonder. I have never watched the whole screenplay. And then you got Borat, which I just don't get the Borat series. I mean, maybe it's just me. I gotta maybe wipe the slate clean and give Borat some time, because I'm wondering how they're getting nominated as actor and screenplay and best picture.
I mean, I'm wondering the same thing though. So, and I like the movie, but not that much.
I don't know. So for me, you got The Father, One Night in Miami. That's the strongest screenplays to me. If I had to pick, I'm going with One Night in. If I had to pick, I'm going with One Night in Miami, because when you have to think about it from as a Black person, you think about who Sam Cooke is, who Jim Brown is, who Muhammad Ali is, who Malcolm X is, and somebody had to pen words that they imagined that they said, that they didn't have no audio recording, they don't know what was said, what was going on. so to be able to have to speak in all those voices, I think is probably like the most amazing task out of these writers. And I would say for my pick, I would go with Kemp Powers, One Night in
Yeah.
Miami. So that's who I'm
No,
picking.
definitely.
Chloe Zhao might be the best person to put your money on because that's who's been winning most of these things. I think she even won the WGA. So
Which
I
is
don't
still
know
a
that.
little odd, but yeah, my pick is definitely Kemp. Yeah, and to what you're saying, he has to write dialogue for all these impactful, huge, real life, people, and sound as if it's all of that. Even for, especially for Malcolm's character, because we haven't seen a less militant version of Malcolm. This is like a whole different side of him that we've never seen on screen before. So I think for him to accomplish that, and for it to feel so timely with all four of these important figures, these four important Black men in America, and for their conversations to again feel timely was an accomplishment of its own. So
Yeah,
definitely my pick.
he caught some flack from the Nation of Islam from how Malcolm greeted the other people and saying that this wasn't like true to what Malcolm would say. You would say this, but
Yeah.
I mean, as a writer, you can't be perfect, especially when
Yeah, you
you're
can't please
imagining.
everybody.
Yeah, so I'm going with Kemp. Best original. So we agree on Kemp on that one. Let's say if we win, we probably gonna lose to Nomadland, but we went out there for him. Best original screenplay, you got Sound of Metal, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Judas, and Trial of Chicago 7. I'm gonna say it's gonna be hard to beat Aaron Sorkin in this category just
Yeah.
because Aaron Sorkin is who he is and he has the girth of a career of being in these nominations. But of course, I would love to see Shaka King get in there. This is kind of even a tougher category than adapted because I mean, actually, all these, even Promising Young Women, even though it wasn't my best picture type of film, if I could
Strong
think about
writing
the
though.
screenplay,
Yeah.
strong writing, Minari, strong writing, and Sound of Metal, strong, like all of these definitely strong projects, and I'm hoping that the voters really paid attention to the lines and really, I don't know. I don't know who really deserves to win. I'm going for Shaka King,
So
but
I'm also again I'm going for Shaka. I think Aaron Sorkin is going to win, which is fine. Again, I do love Trial of Chicago 7. The writing is the strongest part, but yeah, I would love to see Shaka win. So
if Aaron, I mean, and I asked him in this interview, I'm gonna throw to. I asked him, did he get to talk um, to not he didn't talk to the Hamptons. He didn't talk to Fred
Basil's
Hampton.
family,
And I talked to Fred Hampton Jr. And then he didn't talk to who was Yawa's
Bobby Sell.
character, but he didn't talk to Bobby Seale or his family about it. So to me, it was like it was kind of half cooked, and
Yeah,
that
no, I
he didn't
definitely
have
agree
all
there.
the details. Especially that since Bobby Seale's part was so, I mean, I don't think without Bobby Seale's part of being strapped in a chair and muffled, I don't think without that part, I don't think it gets
Be a
best
much
picture or
weaker movie.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so while I can't vote for it because of that, but I feel like yeah, he might win. But I'm pulling for Shaka King for that. And I think those all the, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, score, cinematography. We could talk cinematography. 'Cause, I mean, Mank is in black and white. Judas
Yeah.
done like it was. Nomad and Trial. I don't know. News of the World. Did you see News of the World? I missed that. That's one of the
I missed
projects
that
I
one.
missed.
I didn't know about that, so it was nominated for cinematography. For me, it's between Judas and I thought the cinematography in No Man Land was great, but there was some really like captivating shots in Judas, so we'll have to see that win. I'm literally kind of rooting for Judas in mostly every category, to be honest. I think it is
Yeah,
kind of the strongest film of the year. So
yeah. I'm hoping it brings home the best picture. So
yeah.
let's end it with best director. Uh, we have Thomas for another round. Disclosure: I didn't get to watch that one. You got David Fincher for Mank. I loved Mank. Like I said, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Good to have a female in the best director category this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
and Nomadland was a good film, just not my favorite. You have Emerald Fennell for A Promising Young Woman, another female, which I think was a interesting directing project. So cheers to her for her direction on that. I can't begrudge her for that project. And Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. Crazy to see so many Judas nominations, and I see like a director in there.
Yeah.
But what do
Or
you
Regina
think?
too. I think
What do
Regina should have
you
been
think? You go you
nominated.
go Nomad? Yeah, but if anybody hear me say that, they're gonna say you biased because you got a crush on Regina.
Yeah.
But I think it was a great
No, I'll say it, yeah.
debut. Films that feel like they do like it's the same with Fences. Like when there's Fences, you have even like Ma Rainey here. Like you don't see him as best director. I think when you're adapting from that what was on stage and you're bringing it to the screen, it's hard for you to like unless you let go of play all the way and really go outside of those boundaries. Like if Regina would have went way outside that room for more, I think she would be more deserving of that nomination. But I would love to see Regina win anything all the time.
Yeah.
So what's your best director pick before we
So yeah, who I want to win is Fincher, because again, he's my favorite director. I think he's the strongest director in general in the category. But I feel like the person that is going to win is Chloe Zhao, because I think she's getting a lot of love and she's been winning a lot of the other awards.
I'm gonna go with Lee Isaac Chung.
Okay, he will be the other person I want to win
I think
after Fincher. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see who wins on that. And now, all the audience, y'all got two people that watch and love films, and we've talked to a lot of the cast before, a lot of the filmmakers and cast. So now you got your picks. I mean, we were together on a lot of these picks, and even all the ones that we weren't together on, like it wasn't like
some form of agreement. It was
why
I
would
could
you
see
pick
that
kind of argument. Like I could go with. Yeah, you influenced me on best animation because I was gonna go with Wolf Walkers.
Yeah,
but
which is still a
Soul, I think I was just holding out for some racial equity. I would like to see in Pixar. I'd like to see the Frank Abneys and other Black animators get a lot more shine there. And I mean, I like Pete Doctor, and Soul feels a lot like what was the other Pete Doctor one that he won
Inside Out
for a couple of years where he had those bluish characters. Inside Out. It felt a lot like Inside Out. So we'll see. We won't be at the Dolby Theater, formerly the Kodak Theater. We won't be at Union Station tomorrow, but we will be virtually in the press room asking the winners questions. So we'll see how that works out tomorrow. And good luck to all the nominees. What's your snub or your best film that did like your best film of the year that wasn't I guess we should mention the short with Joey Badass that people are talking about now, but I haven't watched all the other shorts to really.
Yeah.
Okay, well we'll skip that.
But
but what film did you want to see get love this year that didn't get love, or that you just enjoyed even though it wasn't an Oscar caliber movie? Like, is this something outside of this realm that you think deserves like some conversation for this year?
Definitely Spike's joint, The Five Bloods. I think Delroy, like the fact that he wasn't nominated to me is just like he was my for sure bet. Like if he would have asked me a few months ago or last year, whatever, who would have got nominated, I would have easily picked him over anybody. So that and the other movie, it's not I don't really expect it. I didn't expect it to get nominated, but I actually thought The Invisible Man that came out last year was actually a strong genre movie. And again, I know Oscars don't really do kind of genre-based movies for the most part, but I thought it was good. I thought the performance was good. I know it's kind of going to be overlooked just, because of the content, the genre of it. But yeah, for me, if I had to pick one, it's definitely The Five Bloods of Spike.
Yeah. I have to agree with you, the Five Bloods, and your pick for Delroy. I think Delroy should probably be like favorite in the category. You know, not even like nominated. Even the fact that he got
Yeah.
snubbed, I think he should be favorite. And that when I watched it, I thought the same. I liked Spike with that budget. I liked the film. It got kind of like I think if we I think it might be a pandemic asterisk on that film. I mean, it was
Maybe.
early.
Yeah, it was
It
early.
was the
Yeah.
Five Blood was early. It also had Chad Boseman, which yeah, I agree with you on that. Other than that, The Night King, which would have been foreign picture.
Mm.
I thought it was the best foreign picture. I mean, I thought it could have been in general category as it's still one of my favorite movies of the year. And if you haven't
Okay.
seen it,
Yeah, I gotta check it out.
A guy who goes to what was that movie with Pistol in Brazil that everybody used to love? I forget what his name, Rocket or something that in Brazil. I can't remember.
I can't think of
But
it.
it reminds me like it's a great foreign movie, and it's like this. You got these guys in this jail in Congo, and he has to tell stories for the whole night, or they're gonna kill him. Like
That's a great
they choose a
concept.
new
Okay.
griot, and he has to tell a story. And as soon as the story over, they're gonna kill him, and he has to make it to time telling the story and keeping the audience captivated. I think that movie by far was like one of my favorite movies in any category. But the fact that it didn't get international nomination was a
What was the
disappointment.
name of it again?
I think it's Night King or Night of the Kings. Night. I think
Okay.
it's Night King.
I'm gonna have to check it out. That concept, that premise sounds amazing, actually.
Oh, that is an amazing movie. No, oh my gosh, it's this movie. It's by Neon. Neon made it, so that's the studio.
Okay.
And um, make sure I get y'all right name before y'all start looking up because I put up Night King and it came up Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's gonna
It's
be hard to find.
Night of the Kings.
Night of the Kings. Okay. And what country is he? Said foreign.
Yeah,
Where does it take place?
Congo
Okay.
in the Congo. So Africa is French with English subtitles.
Gotcha.
I think it was our director reviewed the director Philippe Lacote, and he grew up with one of his parents being locked up in the same prison as a political prisoner, and he made out of the movie. I think it was. I'm sad that didn't make it in there. I feel like I could have did more to get it in there, and I did as a journalist filmmaker. But definitely check out that movie. Check out you know check us out online for sure. And I appreciate your time, man. I know I appeared on your
Appreciate you having me.
podcast not too long ago, so I hope we could do more of these as we start to open back up, man.
Yeah, definitely. And that conversation will be up soon too. So
All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Enjoy the 93rd Academy Awards
yeah.
from the Dolby Theater in Union Station. For the first time ever, something at Union Station. Usually we just have homeless people at Union Station.
I know, so
But
that'll be interesting to see.
it'll be
That's a
interesting to have
unique spot.
we
Yeah.
do that with tuxedos and everything else. But we'll see. And thanks for your time, Jalen. Peace out, everybody. And I guess that's a wrap.
Yeah. Stop
Cutting.
recording.